Karibuni sana na leo niko na Morara Times hapa. Ningependa tuongelelee Kasmuel. Unajua Morara Kasmuel amesema kwamba he is not going to apologize and in fact amesema kwamba ile vita ilikuwa imetokea Bomas of Kenya. Wakenya nyinyi ndio mlileta vita. Na nyinyi watu ambao mnaendelea kumtusi mkisema yeye amepatana na kina Raida, amepatana sijui na kina nani. One thing you should know, hakuna mtu ambaye apatani na hawa politician. And then I was like, hey, Kasmuel anataka kusema nini? Mbona anataka anifunze matumbo bwana mapema? Another thing alikuwa amesema, yeye alisema amepatana na watu ambao wamempenda, wamechukua wenye wanataka kummold ama wenye wanataka kummentor. And one thing came into my mind. First thing, he has been fighting for revolution in this Kenya. And then all of a sudden amepata akina baba, washamuingia, ameingia, sasa ameanza kusema all I needed ni love, watu wenye wanammentor, watu wenye wanamold in siasa. And then I was left with so many questions ambapo sina majibu. I don't know. What's your take about this statement?
Morara and whoever who is now on board as a politician, a young politician, will reach a point to get the voice of these young people. Na hawatapata. No, hawatapata. Let me tell you one simple thing. Morara was not known because Raila knew him. He was known because Gen Zs talked about him on Twitter, talked about him on X, talked about him on TikTok, on WhatsApp groups, people shared, on Facebook. I get in this. These are the people who popularized him. Eventually got into that place and alifika hadi anapigwa ma interviews. We were the people who were talking about Msiguze Kaskazini. Msiguze Kaskazini. I get in this. Morara. We are the people who like his vibe. Most of his supporters are these young men and women, the Gen Zs of his team. Let me say, not even millennials. Let me just talk of the Gen Zs themselves. When they reach a time, he's going to the ballot, okay? He will need the support of the youths. This arrogance, anaongea naye, ataifanya aje? I get in this. He could have done a mistake or the right thing. The best thing he could have done, I always say, it is silence. It is silence. If he talks like Rigathi Gachagua, right, left, and center, atajimes mwenyewe. I get in that. So one thing I can advise Morara is that whatever happened in Bomas, there was a wrong thing that happened there. There was a perception that was not good. Morara said very well that the moment he arrives in Bomas, he asks people around, what is the mood of the people? Did he ask the mood?
What are we supposed to say?
Yeah. Did he ask? When he was asking someone, hakuambiwa hii ukiongea utapigwa kama Morara tuseme.
Yeah, because he said wakati Morara alikuwa anachapwa yeye hakuwa.
Then wale watu hawakumwambia Morara amepigwa, so usiongee hivi na hivi. Aya, kama mtu alimkataza usiongee Ruto must go, then you should say Gachagua must go. Why? Hakuuliza. We are not silly when we ask questions. When we saw him akiwa na Osoro, we were not silly. Tukimwona wakiwa na Raila, hatukuwa wajinga. Sasa walikuwa na TJ Kajwang', hatukuwa wajinga. Tunajua hizi vitu how they happen in this country. I get in this. I'm saying that the Gen Z protest themselves. Some of these things were killed by some of these influencers. Some of them were paid to tell us don't go, don't do this, don't do that. So many don'ts. Yet there are some people of us who have been killed. Then we ask, were these ones deserving to die? I get in that. So I want to tell Morara one simple thing. The moment Morara will rise above them, because Morara definitely alichomoka katikati yao akapanda. They could have come together as a team. Wakae chini wasiwe sasa. The same agenda is what we have. Okay? You know, Raila has worked with Kalonzo before, has worked with Ruto, has worked with Uhuru, has worked with Mudavadi. But wanaachana na wanarudiana. So huwezi kwanza kuwa na uoga ati nikikaa na Morara ama nikikaa na Morara at some point tutaachana. First of all, we are having a certain cause, ndio? Let's sit together now. Tuone kina Mercy Tarus, tuone kina Morara ameshikana na kina Morara. Morara is the leader sitting that seat hapo katikati, wakidiscuss on how we are going to take these ideas and tulikuwa nazo kwa Gen Z protest forward. All those things like accountability. Unajua we had so many things like the issues to do with the public audit of the public debts, ndio? Ambayo haijafanyika. There are so reappointments of incompetent leaders like now this guy called Kimchumba Murkomen. Baada hatujaona vitu zikifuatiliwa. They went so suddenly and kept quiet like hatukuwa na agenda before. I get in this. So therefore, I want to say that these guys could have sat together and discussed and agreed. Hata Bomas hiyo kuenda angeuliza Morara, hey bro, have you gone to Bomas of Kenya? No, where are we? Tuende pamoja. But now kila mtu anafanya things selfishly. Moja anaumia, the other one does not support. However, I think that as much as he says that he was not there, no one didn't know that Morara has been attacked. Everyone knew it was circulating all over. Can't tell me that Makore cannot get on Twitter angalie. Yeah, he gets on Twitter now and then. Wangeona Morara amepigwa, that is trending. Hata niko sure angepigiwa simu ambiwa unaenda wapi Bomas? Ngoja, Morara amepigwa pia chunga. So this kind of kujitetea nini unakuja hadi na gaucho kwa show ya Obina. I personally feel strongly that it is not okay, okay, to keep on of course answering every allegation against you. But I feel when you have a cause in this country, we must play it different than what our predecessors have been doing, like Raila Amolo Odinga. What wanna play according to what they benefit with. So no, saizi Gachagua akiamua Raila utakuwa rais na mlime na kusupport. Raila will leave Ruto in the morning. Utasikia Joe ameresign na wameingia opposition. I get in this. We don't want such kind of leadership. We want a leadership of a certain kind where we have a cause to change this country. What did we raise before? Had to achieve. How can we achieve now? Before we bring even new ones. But now checking how these guys are operating, it is wrong to have Makore jitetea, sharing a platform and unaitwa your son, na you are someone who is our enemy, mwenye amepiga Morara, you know? I think it is very wrong. It is very wrong to have such kind of perceptions on board. And I think it's now time for Morara and Kebaso, for Morara and this is the guy, Makore, to sit down, we'll come together. Okay? History ya wao fighting each other and Masita Rus iishe. Tukue na one team of youths in this country. Hii tukiwa na youths wengine wanaenda na watu fulani wengine wako hivi. When are we going to fight the same agenda in this country? Because Master Rus akikuja vizuri afanya kampeni vizuri, Rift Valley tumesonga. Tupate wengine wachache kutoka Nyanza wamefanya tumesonga. But now wakifight each other, it's not going to assist us. But I think if Makore wants to get in that league ya kina Raila to mentor him, if that's what he thinks is the best leadership, let them go. I wish ningemwona na Edwin Sifuna. Why? I wish. Because Edwin Sifuna has been vocal, speaking openly, speaking the right things, grilling and body like Ajay Mona before. I get in this. I wish ningemwona na kina Senator Nyonga. I wish ningempata na ukiwa mtata na kipiga story safi sasa. Atuambie now this is what we are doing. How can you tell us Raila is mentoring you and ukiwa mtata is not mentoring you? I get in this. Because I have done a video before and told you that everything that Raila has done is to benefit himself, isn't it? Yeah, it's to benefit himself. Nothing has really brought a serious, significant benefit in this country because we are crying even more than we used to cry before as a country. And as Raila is smiling, despite that he's not going to lose this seat, you know, he's going to lose the AU seat completely. So unajua hivyo, ata lose the AU seat and coming home. Now, how is that guy?
But so far, wanasema he is leading.
There's no leading. You will see what will happen. The sad, our watu wakina South Africa, the SADC people wamemua want to support. I was surprised Raila is campaigning in places like Western countries, going to meet this and that. He's campaigning in Germany, the US, in France, isn't it? Because they want the support of those countries allied to that region, right? Now look at this. What are we fighting as Africa? Is that Pan-Africanism? No. Pan-Africanism is where Kenyans, Africans, choose the leader by themselves. Decide their president, define their AU chairman, decide whoever they want. But whenever we have an influence from the abroad, from the Western countries, that means we are being colonized through our leaders. I get in this. And that's what we are killing. So long as you see Raila embracing them, as Africa, if Raila qualifies to become a AU chairperson, kiboko ni ile tu. Atakuwa na handshake na watu wengine, sisi tutakuwa tukiteseka tu as Africans now. So we want to ask Makore anyway, I don't want to shift from him. First of all, wa meet na Morara. Second of all, to have a serious conversation. Tusikie meeting imekuwa held for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Makore, Morara, Kebaso, and any other person who has been coming on board, what a press conference. To us as youths in this country, because there's a crowd in a support Makore, crowd in support Morara, crowd in support Masita Rus. If they come together, that's a huge crowd to move a presidential candidate.
And yes. We are good to go.
We are good to go.
So watu waache mambo mingi eti
watu waache mambo mingi. You know, this is childish. I call it childish. Blame games here, right and left and center. Because you realize these guys are blaming themselves kila wakati. Na eventually nani anaumia? Ni sisi mavijana. Tumekuwa destabilized. Ile leadership tulikuwa nao tunafaitia 25 June au 2024. Ile yenye Mark Masai alikufia. Hatuja solve bado. I get in this. Masai alikufia vitu kaizo. Walishutiwa kwa street. Hatuja solve bado. Now, Makore had a chance to meet with Raila Amolo Odinga. Akakuwa mentored, isn't it? What about Raila Amolo Odinga statement alisema? Wale vijana wote waluliwa watakuwa compensated. Did they share about that? Amwambie, during the protests, some of us were killed. You said they are going to be compensated. You have not seen it. What's the plan? What's the plan? They didn't share about that. That's selfishness. Tunasema. Go sit and share, okay, from a perspective like you are a leader. Ukienda selfishly, unakuwa treated as a bure person. Nobody will mentor. These guys have kids. Mbona wachakuwa ma presidents in this country? Wao bado ni wana struggle kukua. Raila still wanted to be the president. He could not even live for Matiang'i. Isn't it? Because they want it for themselves first. Nobody is going to put aside his interests and focus on Makore. Makore just needs to come, join the Morara to flow. He insinuated maybe Morara could be meeting other politicians. We hope he's meeting them, but the right ones. Are getting this? We said people like Okio Mtata and Onyonka. And if Morara is called by someone like, for instance, any leader wants to talk to him. One thing we have to say is that Morara knows what is right and what is wrong for him. But one thing that must remain in his mind, even Makora and the rest, the interest of the people of Kenya. Because kuna watashikwa watafinywa. Kama vile nani alifinywa sasa anaitwa nani huyu jamaa? Huyu Gachagua. They will come back and cry for the people. Gachagua the moment aliona anakuwa impeached, every statement alikuwa na make inalifaa watu wa mlima. I get in this. Ataka watu wamsave. But eventually, if you don't stand with the people will not stand with you at some point. Because watajiuliza wakati tulikuwa tukihitaji ulikuwa wapi? Okay? Ulikuwa wapi? Jenzi wakipigwa marisasi ulikuwa wapi? Adani wakiingia hapo tulikuwa wapi? Hizi zote watu wanauliza ulikuwa wapi? So generally, I think it is time for them not to be in a rush to go and get some positions or get some help. Let them build their base. Tukijiunga kama mayouths in this country, hata 2027, mtu akiangalia, there are about 18 ama 10 million strong youths wamejitolea kuvote hii time. Then now, we either back Morara ama tuenda home sisi wote. Si ndio? And eventually these guys will come to us. But tukianza kubagain sahi, going to Raila, going to this, going to that, we are done. We are done. Kwisha. And in fact, you'll be surprised. If you get the real Gen Zs now coming on board, these guys will be swept like hell. Yeah.
Anyway, that's more Koa Times suggestion comment. Anyway, to Team Morara, Team Cyprian, Team Koa Times, so we're gonna say thank you so much for supporting us. Let's continue subscribing so that we reach 200,000. But then we are almost 200. Yeah, we are almost. Let's keep on supporting this girl.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Kabisa.
So all I can say, thank you so much. We keep you updated. Anytime we get trending news, as usual. Morara is our business and Kenya is our business.
Our business. Yes. Changing Kenya is our priority.
Kenya is a priority.
Yes.
So whether you like it or not,
tutasema.
Yes, ututusi usitutusi.
Tunasemanga Morara akienda kwa ground, sisi tuko kwa hewa.
Tuko kwa hewa.
Tunatonga Air Force.
Yes. Anyway guys, to Team Cyprian, we will try to look for Morara. By the way, we need to host him in this channel.
Tutaenda.
Very soon we are trying to see if we can manage.
Tumleta
if we make it, hata kama si Kisii, hata kama ni Nairobi, but Tafika. As long as we host him in this channel, because we just want to do a live.
Na yeye.
Live. The Kenyan people, they will ask a question and we will be reading questions akianza. We are not going to pre-record. Just live.
Morara
like Morara, this question unaulizwa, jibu. Wakenya ndio watauliza maswali. Si.
Live. Jibu ndio hizo swali tuambie.
So guys, if things go well, we will host him very soon. Let's continue subscribing so that hiyo siku ikifika usiache na hiyo big day. Because tuko na maswali mingi sana ya kumuuliza na nafaa tujibu.
I'll visit him when I go to Nairobi.
Yes.
Tukimpata tutamuuliza what are we going to do.
And in fact we should show people hiyo inject party Nairobi waione vizuri. Unajua haijawahi ionekana vizuri.
Let's go there.
Yes, we are going.
Let's go
so
there.
Guys, stay tuned. See you in our next video.
I've seen people circulating a fake apology video that was cut from a video I'd made days ago, claiming that that's my apology for Bomas. I need to make this very clear. I am not sorry that I was at Bomas. I do not in any way regret speaking at Bomas. And I do not owe anyone an apology. A lot of the people that have talked to me and asked me, they've told me that they're wondering why I did not speak about Morara's attack. One, anybody who has a functional noggin knows that the attack on Morara was absolutely wrong. But who planned that attack? It's you. I know you want to blame it on some goons, but it is you. You are the biggest enabler of the people who meted out violence on Morara. Yes, you're the young person. You should be ashamed of yourself. If you're a young person, you are the one who sponsored that violence. If you're an old person, you're the one who sponsored that violence. Then you come and call me a traitor or a sellout. Where were you? You all were typing and you all lied to each other and shared posters and said that you were going to go for public participation. Where were you? And don't lie that you were locked outside, because even the people who were locked outside were not saying the things that you wanted to say. You're saying that you wanted to crucify me for not saying Ruto must go. Show me videos of people who are saying Ruto must go at Bomas. You were supposed to come there for that public participation. You were the one who was supposed to do that, but you didn't show up. You want to be an armchair revolutionary. You want to be a revolutionary from your couch or from your bed, so that you outsource confidence. And I say this again. This is where I will call out Morara and his team, for example. One of the biggest lessons I learned is there are no organic crowds in politics. Wakenya mtaki kusikia hii. You think that you have organic crowds. Because I watched the videos, I was not at Bomas when Morara was attacked. If I'd seen that attack, I would have condemned it very vehemently. However, because I've been watching videos, how do you walk into a place in a crowd that we've not mobilized? And this is why I also say it's the Kenyans who sponsored violence against young people. The Kenyans hate us. The Kenyans hate the frontliners. They hate you. But I was watching that video. You walked into a theater full of people, and I'll just address this, and this has to be very clear. I do not condone the attacks. I do not condone any violence meted upon you. This is a castigation to the Kenyans, but it's also a cautionary word. It is one of the biggest political lessons I've learned, because I've paid for it dearly, and now I think we need to address it. You walked into the crowd, and you had not made prior preparation for the crowd. You did not know who had mobilized it, and you, just like me, believe that Kenyans of goodwill are the ones who had gone there. I'm addressing this directly to Morara, because his team was one of the first people to say that I am a sellout. And if I hear it from the team, unless you denounce what the team said, effectively you're saying that you also endorse the message that I am a sellout. But you walk into a crowd. One, you want to walk in there conspicuously with a program going on. You did not figure out what was going on the ground. And then I hear that you started chanting things that were contrary to what happened in the ground. Then I'm the one who's being castigated on the internet, being called a sellout. I also went into Bomas. People said I got in there with a GK vehicle. Weka evidence kwa kalatas. I want people to show, because I was wearing a tuxedo. And two, as much as you might want to deny it, I am a very difficult man to miss in a public function. Show me the videos of me getting in. Yes, I snuck in there. I asked myself, because I was alone, I did not have a security team or a security detail. Nikaingia, I talked to the same police who locked the doors, who are trying to nini. But if you talk to them, anyone who's being honest knows that day the police were not being violent. Anyone who, if you talk to them properly, they would have guided you. They guided me and they told me, wewe kulingana na vile umeongea, pitia huu mlango mwingine, and they escorted me. And mark you, I also almost experienced some violence from some people, and I ran into a room, but I'll cut that long story. Nilisikiza ground, nikauliza tunasema nini, and I asked so many people. There's a lady who pointed me akasema ndio ule janzi mwingine hapo wanataka kutu nini, wasikuwa amekuja kuongea. Then nikatoroka, wasikuwa amekuja kutuambia mkutano kusema vitu zenye hatuja kuja kuongelea hapa leo. Then I listened and I asked what's happening on the ground. Kasema I asked, is Gachagua going? They said yes. Is Ruto going? And they said usilete mambo ya Ruto hapa. You, as a Kenyan who's watching this, and you want to start typing all those silly ideas that are in your mind. Oh, straight as hell out. Where were you? Where were you when you were setting us up? You promised that you would come. And you said that you're rallying behind us. And you've always tweeted and put the hashtag Kufa Dereva Kufa Makanga. Where were you? You're such a joker. You are such an irresponsible Kenyan if you're watching this. Because you are the change. We are supposed to be the change. But you're delaying the change because you think your work is more important than the work for this country. You've delegated it. So mimi, I'm a child of a lesser mother. Mimi kwangu nalipanga hospital bills, ama nalipanga commodity bills na Viva, comrades Viva. Sindio? Don't be silly. Anyways, Bomas happens the way it happens. I speak truth to power, and then you come and castigate me and talk about the platforming, which you're not doing either way. And again, like I said, if this is another video that you're watching about Bomas and you had forgotten, if that other one had not answered you, shukia hapa sasa hivi. I'm willing to take this journey with 100 followers online, but 100 followers who can actually reason and take balanced opinions. So you did not come to bomb us. You, as the Kenyans, you sponsored the attacks on Morara. Yes. You are the ones who ensured that public participation was a sham. You are the one who enabled all the bad behavior you've seen at Bomas. How, you ask? Because you did not come. Because you're not a man of your word, you're not a woman of your word, and all you thrive in doing is bringing people down and insulting people. That's your contribution. Yes, you sponsored it. Then you're saying, oh, I've sold out, I was sitting. Show me videos of me at the podium when the attack was happening. Yes, because you have these wild ideas in your head. Show me the videos. Where's evidence? Because for me, all you people usually do is you say claims, but you cannot produce evidence. It's just photos, it's been seen with who. Mkijua watu nimeonekana nao, watu nimepigwa picha nao kwa nchi. Anyways, long and short of the story, I am not sorry for Bomas. Shame on you for making Bomas a failure if you feel it was a failure. But guess what? You see those people who are at the Bomas, they're the people who usually show up for maandamano, they're the people who usually show whatever opinion you have, and they are equally Kenyans. You are not more Kenyan than those people. Kitu sikudanganye. We want to despise these people and say that they had been paid 500, they'd been paid 1,000, paid 200 shillings. These are the people for action. If we can manage to convince these people and win them over ideologically, that's how we make progress. You are a failure to the Kenyan people. Jiangalie kwa mirror. Mtu mwenye unawatch video on your phone, you're a failure. And be damned for thinking you're any better than the people who are at Bomas. Kama ulikuwa Bomas, big up. Thank you so much for supporting the motion of the impeachment. It's going on quite well. But kama pia ulikuwa Bomas, I would want us to think about politics differently. There's a way we can do it. There's a way we can do it peacefully. There's a way we can do it sustainably. And I believe that kama ulijitolea, ama hata kama ulimobiliziwa, it shows that your material conditions cannot allow you to stay at home. Regardless, I'm not judging you for receiving money from an MP or whatever, because kama najita mtu anaweza mobilize, I should have out-mobilized those MPs. I should have found the thing that would have been more convincing than money, but I didn't. Mkenya pia asijaribu kukudharau. All of us are Kenyans, na tutapeleka tu hiki tu pole pole. Again, we cannot be the country that tolerates, that promotes intolerance. If it is a safe democracy, we kama unataka Gachagua abaki, ama unataka Ruto abaki, you are as much a Kenyan as the people who want the entire presidency to go. So in protection of our democratic space, in finding that middle ground, in treating each other as humans, that's where we'll find the change. That's where it's going to happen. And I know it's going to happen. Yet again, I'm not sorry for Bomas. Bomas was my first day in politics. It's a day I learned very key lessons. There are no organic crowds in politics most of the times. Do not grow to a crowd that you've not mobilized. If you do, study it first. 3, any crowd that you see in Kenya is probably made of Kenyans. There's a way that if we truly listen to what the people say, without trying to advance our agenda, without trying to look like heroes, it's very easy for us to convince these people. And 4, we win people over by speaking with them, not talking to them or talking at them. And I hope that this uncomfortable video, I know there are parts which are rather uncomfortable for you to hear, but these are the kinds of discussions. This is where now I'm starting from. This is where we are building it from here. Now we'll start it as a rough course discussion, and then as we go, we refine it as we go. But I'm not sorry for Bomas. You hate poor people. Yes, you do. I know now you're becoming defensive and you want to tell me in your head, oh, so I come from a poor background. Even you as a poor person, you hate poor people. You hate yourself so badly that you cannot imagine that you are capable of being used for transforming this country. So you've relegated yourself. The Kenyans hate the poor people hate themselves, and they cannot imagine anything better. And I say this because we are not willing to entrust the change onto simple methods. The people you think are going to drive the change are the people who are leaner versions of the thieves that you're trying to remove from office. If you want to be a successful politician, you cannot be walking You cannot be guys like us who walk around, who want to do small things. You want them to be done in a big way. You want to see opulence. The opulence that you're fighting is the same opulence you're doing. And because you're a coward, wewe kama Mkenya, kazi yako ni kusikiza udaku kutoka bigwig ati bigwig alisema so a bigwig can never lie. Of course, because you're a fool. Yes, you refuse to educate yourself. You refuse to get rid of class consciousness, those kinds of things. And then now you want to project that. Relax before you bring me those feelings. Even me, I'm projecting. So all of us are projecting. Unakat bure. But you hate it. And the person you're most likely to elect is the person that closest resembles the thief you're trying to remove from office. Yes, I say this because